plants of Sikkim. Without knowing the flora of Sikkim, you are almost impossible to know the medicinal plants or something like that. Because I want to tell you, this state, it is less than 1% of the India's geography. But it holds 27% of the India's biodiversity, in terms of particularly the floristic diversity. So I will first talk about this unique flora. So you see, this is flora of Sikkim, the most diverse flora of India. This is also a study that we have conducted, and we have published a book, The Flora of Sikkim. On the basis of that only we are talking. We have analyzed and we have found that 27% of the species is found in Sikkim, although its geography is only 0.7%. It is less than 1%. That's why you all have to think that how important this state in terms of biodiversity. And another thing also, in the whole of the Indian Himalayas, or up to the Yunnan and those things, whole Himalaya, 48% of the species are found in this region. So next please. Yeah, see, why this area is so important that we have to understand. Because India has, mainly in this northern part, it comes under two biodiversity hotspots. That is one, the Indo-Burma biodiversity hotspot, you know maybe, that is Assam, parts of Arunachal, Nagaland, Manipur, and this all comes under the Indo-Burma biodiversity hotspots. And actually initially that was the only biodiversity hotspot that declared from this part. Later on, when the revision has come, that the whole of the Himalayas also came under another biodiversity hotspots. And that the Himalayas, the Sikkim also comes. That is, you can see, this is from Yunnan, Arunachal Pradesh, Bhutan, Sikkim, then Nepal, and it goes up to Jammu Kashmir and little beyond to Pakistan also. So that's why it comes under these two biodiversity hotspots. But very interestingly, remember, when something comes under biodiversity hotspot, or it is a global biodiversity area, important area, it is not only a matter of pride, but this is another way, it is a very important matter of concern. Because it is said by the International Biodiversity Conservation Authority that wherever the biodiversities are more, there is a maximum chances of depletion of the biodiversity or the species. Why it is happening? Because these are the areas which are less developed. And this is development process, or these are in the process of development. So when process of development, we need roads, we need bridges, we need dam. So when these all developmental activities are taking place, then there is a maximum chance of depletion of the species. And that is a major concern. And we have to take up a path where both the things that we can accommodate. Otherwise, development we cannot leave, and at the same time we cannot lead to extinction of the species or depletion of the species. So next please. So you see this Sikkim area, it comes under Eastern Himalaya zone. So it is Eastern Himalaya, Sikkim, then Nepal is in the Central Himalaya, then Jammu Kashmir, Himachal and Uttarakhand, those are Western Himalaya. So here you can see Sikkim, Bhutan and Arunachal Pradesh. These are in Indian Himalayas, these are the main thing. Bhutan is not in our country, but even this is a continuous belt, and that's why these areas makes different from the others. Western Himalaya, many people maybe, anybody is there from Uttarakhand? Yes, thank you sir. Anybody is from Himachal Pradesh? And anybody is from Jammu Kashmir? I think yesterday when you was traveling from Siliguri to Gangtok, you might have seen that these areas are not like yours. These areas, high density of the forest. You might have seen that in every square meter there is more species than what it is in Western Himalaya. So question is, why it is happening like that? It is because the precipitation and the microclimatic adaptation, that what it is there in this part of the Himalayas, it is not there in the Western Himalayas. And you might have seen the gradient of the mountains is not like the Western Himalayas. The Western Himalaya, it is the mild gradient, it is a very beautifully looking the mountains. Here it is suddenly it is very steep. Again some gradients are there, but these are maybe is very difficult, but it is creating a unique habitat, unique microclimatic zone that creates more species, and that is the reason why here the question, the answer is that why 27% is. So got my point. You people go just, and another thing, there is too much of diversification of the ecosystem. It is why too much of diversification of the ecosystem. Yesterday when you were just landing in the Bagdogra airport or in the station of New Jalpaiguri. He was in a complete tropical belt. Maybe there was no chance of wearing a sweater or a coat. And just you have climbed 100 kilometers, you might have crossed more than 5 ecosystem zones. Every 10 kilometers things are changing. So this changing pattern of in the gradient of the mountains and the geographical zone is actually creating unique habitat for the different species. It is not only for the plants, but it is for the faunal and other things also. Next please. So see, this is in 2019 when I joined Botanical Survey of India as a regional head here. So it was entrusted from my department that you immediately should bring out the flora of Sikkim. We started working for him has initiated. They become the exemplary for the other states in India. Many of the big states we know, maybe in terms of their economy is better. They may be in advanced in science and technology. Maybe many things they are much behind than these states. And even in the terms of time, the whole intellectual and scientific academia is such that they always promote good things, and for promotion of these things, maybe other states might not have done like this, what they have done. I will explain. Next please. So you see, these are some things. There are not so many things, but some of the things I will see that how Sikkim is so unique. You can see that is the in the Buddha part, Lord Buddha's statue. Behind that is the Menam Wildlife Sanctuary. It is in southern Sikkim. Then here you can see it's the right upper part. This is the in Juluk area. So that is so dense forest. You can see that what I was asking, that Western Himalaya and Eastern Himalaya part. Western Himalaya forests are not like this. Is not it? So you have in Manali and those places big those cedar trees and something like that. But you can see it is something like so dense. It is only comparable with the Latin American countries like Peru, Ecuador, and something like that. Is not it? So next, so here it is the Barsa Wildlife Sanctuary, and this is somewhere in East Sikkim, that alpine, sub-alpine route. It is going towards alpine. Next please. Yeah, you see such a unique topography in the Juluk area of the eastern Sikkim of Juluk. So this is the actually Silk Route. We have brought out another thing also in terms of these things, that how the international trade in concern to the history has happened in between Tibet and India. So this was the way from down from the Kolkata, Kalimpong, then here from to Nahang, then it goes to Tibet, and this was the trade happened here. So this is a place not only for important for trade, but these are the unique place of biodiversity. You can rather say these are the repository area. It is something like that. It is an area of conservation, natural conservation area. No one has made, but it is. You will go and you will find some unique species, and these are something as the transition zone, that it is bordering to Tibet and China, and in terms of Bhutan and something like that. So that's why, if we talk about the large Indian state, that many of the species which are not found in the other areas because of the transition zone, these are migrating from other side and it is coming to us. That's why this is making us more rich. Got my point? So this is the what is happening. Next please. So you see, this is the same area, that the unique landscape. So if you are coming to Sikkim, you should bring some more days, at least 6-7 days, and go unique areas. These are the economic and commercial way. Next please. So like told, that unique landscape again creating not only flora but fauna also. This is the marks here. This is the Kasturi. Yeah, this is I myself has taken this photograph in Juluk. Next please. So next please, these are some towards alpine. Yeah, these are some of the man-made created ecosystem. Actually, once this one plant is there, it is commonly called as ruby. This is actually Cypripteria japonica. The Britishers brought this plant from Japan to Darjeeling. They're thinking that with this plant, they will make the tea boxes. So they started removing the natural forest and they started planting all this. But there was a failed mission. Why it was failed mission? This dhupi, you people may be knowing, they have resins. It's a gum kind of a thing, and it has aroma. It has some smell. So if the tea has to pack in the boxes of this plant, then the aroma of the dhupi will take over the aroma of the tea. That's why they realized, and they have left all this thing for box making. But the plants were remain like that. Their forestry came, and because they told, and later on also, a long time, the forest department has initiated plantation for these things. Now, all these, we people, including the academia, scientific, and the foresters, came to know that this is a historical mistake in this land. And because what is happening, where they are growing, you can see, such a monoculture is happening. It is a monoculture totally. It is not allowing any plant to grow there. That's why Supreme Court is also told, already Bengal government has to initiate that phase-wise these plants need to be removed. And the natural flora need to be brought back. Next please. So this is, you see how landscape, interesting landscape is bringing the interesting plants, interesting fauna also. These are the Bahmini cell ducks coming from Siberia and Mongolia. It is very interesting that they come, fly the whole, crossing the Himalayas, and they come here. So these are some of the opportunities that's why the bird watchers also come to this land, because these things you will not able to see in the other part of the country. Next please. So these are some unique habitat at the high altitude. Next please. So these are, you see, this is how the acclimatization and this, what is called, adaptation. These are the rhododendron plants when the snowfall is there, but it is still survive there. They have not, when the snow will go away, so they immediately will start buds will come, then started flowering. So these you can see in the high altitudes. Next please. So if we talk about this flora of Sikkim, so this man has to name first. Joseph Dalton Hooker, who reached here 1848. Before to this, another young man, this is William Griffith, has came to Bhutan. So he mentioned some of the plants from Sikkim, but he did not physically visit it. But this J.D. Hooker, along with Thomas Thompson, has visited 1848 Sikkim. First he stayed here more than 2 years. Then after this he gone to Meghalaya and those places. Next please. So when he came to Sikkim, one of the most important event in the history of plant taxonomy or the study of the plants has happened. So when he came at the age of almost only like 31 or 32 years, the whole Western world was thinking that tulip, rose are the most beautiful plant in the world. This is very important. Everybody please note this. And when he came here and he happened to encounter with the rhododendrons. At that time no camera. So he started line illustration with the pencils and all these things. And he made all these things. And he has sent this illustration to his father, William Hooker at London. And one fellow called Mr. Fritz, he started giving the color to those line illustrations. And before he reached to London, this book was published, The Rhododendrons of Sikkim, Himalaya. And you see, these drawings has been made 175 years before. 175 years before. And you still feel like that it was drawn yesterday only somebody, or maybe 1 year or 2 years before. What happened when this book published in London? So there was a book. The Western world realized the most beautiful plants are not rose and tulip and daffodils, but the plants are there in the Orientals. It is in Sikkim, it is in Myanmar, it is in China, it is in Bhutan. So there are a breed of new young people came out. They jumped. They have sailed from London, Western world, and they came here to this part of the Orientals, and they started collecting. Here from 32 species, Joseph Dalton Hooker has described for the first time. No name was there, and for the first time he named. And this name not only brought name for the rhododendrons, but that was a big branding for the state of Sikkim. Although that time it was a kingdom, but this discovery gave the biggest accolade in the history, in the time that Sikkim is a unique place in terms of biodiversity, and unique plants and animals are there. So this is from that day onwards. Maybe Sikkim's branding is till today is also same, and it is in terms of biodiversity, Sikkim is one of the most pioneer in the world. Next please. So you see 1862, then Thomas Anderson has been given a task. Go and establish a garden of Singona